Muy buenas a todos, soy Mariatxi, bienvenidos a un nuevo juego, bienvenidos a un nuevo indie. Bueno, pues vamos a darle un ratejo. Vamos a probar esta tarde este Conway Disappearance a Daily View. Un juego que ha salido hoy mismo, un juego que me han enviado. Agradecer a la editora Solid y al desarrollador White Paper Games que me han enviado una clave. La verdad que no he jugado nunca un juego de estos. Son de los creadores de Occupation y de Etherman. Creo que es un juego de investigación, aventura y demás. Veremos un poco a ver de qué va, de qué trata. Son 29,99 euros, está en castellano. Y bueno, pues dirige la investigación sobre la desaparición de una niña y descubre el oscuro secreto de Daily View en este thriller observacional narrativo de los creadores de Occupation y Etherman. Pues vamos a probarlo, ¿no? Pues qué mejor que. Así que vamos a dar un ratejo hasta las 7:15, así yo creo. Yo creo, a ver, que me cerciore. Sí, eso es 7:15, casi unas 2 horitas casi. Así que, bueno, pues vamos allá. Un segundo que vi una cosita antes. Ahora vengo.
Jenny, come on. You're going to miss it.
Tell them to start without me. I need to check on Marie.
She'll be fine. You don't need to check on her every 5 minutes. Come on, it's starting.
Okay, you're right.
For the best part of my later years, I worked as a private investigator. I'd seen many a terrible case. Sadly, most of them unresolved. But in 1954, something terrible and far closer to home happened that I could not avoid. And it happened right here, in Dahlia View. The police are here. What on earth is all the commotion? Now where's my camera? I need to see what's going on outside my window. I need my camera. Now, I can get a closer look. What on earth is all the commotion? Theodore and Annabelle McKee, I believe. I really should get to know my neighbors better. A smashed plant pot. I must have slipped through it. I should have come to my window sooner. That's Tony Morgan's blood. Oh my God, I hope he's all right. Please let him be all right. Harold Levy owns most of the flats in Dahlia View. I wonder if he saw something. Chloroform? What on earth? Bound during a production. Dear God. Charlotte May, Mr. Morgan's daughter, has been kidnapped. Shirley Downs. She runs the Crow's Nest. Her office overlooks the courtyard. old Mrs. Doer. She's usually peering through her window watching our neighbors. It's past her bedtime. A kidnapping right on my doorstep. It isn't worth thinking about. Imagine if it was Catherine. The time to pay my neighbors a visit and see what they know. Charlotte May could only be 7 or 8 years old. Why would someone want to take her? It doesn't make any sense.
Hello, Mr. Conway.
Good evening.
Terrible what's happened, isn't it?
So you know what happened?
They're looking for a kidnapper. A search is about to start in the Pine Woods.
My sister, Shirley, she owns the pub across the way. The searchers are all meeting there first.
What do you know about the kidnapping, Mr. Conway?
Not much. That's why I'm talking to the pair of you.
You should talk to the old busybody over in her big manor house.
Mrs. Doer.
She knows everything that goes on here. I wouldn't be surprised if she saw the kidnapper.
I wouldn't be surprised if she was the kidnapper.
That's an awful thing to say.
Well, have you seen her? Always fawning over that little girl. All alone in that big house. Plenty of room to hide someone.
I can see that you've put a lot of thought into this, Mrs. McKee.
A little too much, love.
Well, I'm not the only one who thinks it.
Oh, blast. What time is it?
It must be a little after midnight by now, surely.
The search is starting without me. I have to get my coat. You'll forgive me, Mr. Conway?
Yes, good night.
Good night, Mr. Conway.
We'll talk again soon.
Excuse me, Mr. Conway. May I have a moment?
Do you know what's happened?
Never mind all that. Your daughter is a police officer, is she not?
She is.
Here, I found this.
What's this then?
A brooch. I found it on the floor here. It probably belonged to that poor girl. Thought I'd better pick it up before Shirley Downs gets her mitts on it.
What do you mean by that?
Never mind. Perhaps you can make sure it finds its way to your daughter.
I will. And thank you for telling me.
Just doing my duty.
Can you tell me what you meant about Shirley?
Good night, Mr. Conway.
Or did you see anything else at all?
Just make sure to give your daughter that brooch.
Miss Downs, do you have a moment?
I'm sorry. What did you say?
I can come back if you need some time.
No, it's fine. I'm just... I can't believe this is happening so close to home. Well, maybe I can.
What do you mean by that?
Not everyone in Dahlia View is as they seem, Mr. Conway.
Miss Downs, who are you referring to?
That son of a bitch right there, with the smug look on his face.
Mr. Levy?
Why not? I mean, what do you really know about him?
Well, I pay him my rent once a fortnight, but no other than that. I didn't really speak to the man.
Well, sadly I do. He's up to something. You must have noticed all the strange deliveries, coming and going at night.
You think he took Charlotte May?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm sorry. Miss Downs, what are you basing this on?
Experience, Mr. Conway. You'll excuse me, I need to help the police with their search.
Good evening, Mr. Levy.
Evening.
How strange times we live in when a girl can be taken on your doorstep.
You ain't wrong. It's a bloody mess.
Did you see what happened at all?
No.
Ah, sí, mira. Ahora.
How well did you know
Pues yo un rato.
Charlotte May?
Mute.
You lived next door.
Gracias.
You must have seen her a lot.
Gracias por algo.
I hope you're going to clean all this mess up tonight. I've got a business to run.
I'm sure this must be a great inconvenience to you.
That reminds me. Rent day tomorrow. Don't be late.
I haven't forgotten.
Good. Keep it that way, and we'll get along just fine.
May I ask what you were doing tonight?
No.
Pues nada, tenemos el hombre del lisillo, la mujer del lisillo y unos que se echan la bronca, la culpa a otros. No le diciendo nada especial, seguramente. No me he dado cuenta, me he levantado, le he desenchufado aquí y no me he fijado.
My name is Robert Conway. I live in flat 23.
Yes, I've seen you around, Mr. Conway.
Well, you see, I thought I'd better come over and check you're okay. Some of our neighbors seem to be content just to stare. I'm so sorry to hear about your daughter.
Very kind of you. I'm sorry, but I'm late joining the search. I've been talking to the police for over an hour.
Of course, I understand.
¿Tú qué tal?
The
¿Se acabó a
police
pie?
officer you spoke to was most likely my daughter.
Is that so?
Yes, she's a very determined young lady. If anyone is going to find your daughter, it's her. I was once a private investigator myself, so I know how her mind works.
Well, it's comforting to know I'm surrounded by such competent minds, Mr. Conway.
I'd like to offer my services too, if you'd permit me.
That's very kind, but I don't have money, I'm afraid.
Mr. Morgan, no. I'm a father myself. I meant to say that I'm at your disposal.
Very generous, but the police said that...
All I'd be doing is observing and talking to people. And if I find anything, I'll be sure to share it with Catherine.
Catherine?
My daughter, the police officer.
Right, of course.
That reminds me. I have this brooch.
No, no es una aventura gráfica. Bueno, sí, pero es de investigación, sí, una aventura gráfica, sí.
Even by the police.
Ese de hoy mismo.
Best to have as many eyes on the case, in my
Yo es una idea, la ventana indiscreta es de la película de Hitchcock, de un tío sin ruedas en una ventana.
Would you mind if I kept onto it for a day or so, in case it proves to have some use?
Yes, of course. If you think it would help. I would very much like you to return it, though.
As soon as I have something to report back to you. You have my word.
So, where do you suppose you'd begin?
Well, right here.
In Dahlia View?
Yes. It's my experience that it's usually someone who knows the victim.
Do you mean to tell me that one of my neighbors has my girl?
No. I'm merely saying that it's a logical place to start.
Now I see. That's why the police searched my house. Because I'm a suspect, I suppose.
That's the way it works, I'm sorry to say.
So they're not even looking for the real kidnapper?
I can assure you they will be.
Tell me, Mr. Conway, and be honest. Are you going to look for my girl?
I promise you. I'll stop at nothing until I find her. For now, I need you to think of anyone who could have taken Charlotte May.
I don't know.
Think. Anyone or anything at all.
Mr. Conway, who do you know who could do such a thing?
I see your point. Well, for now, perhaps try to get some rest. Charlotte May needs you to be stronger.
You'll excuse me, Mr. Conway. I'm going to join the search and find my little girl.
That's fair enough, Mr. Morgan. Good night, and good luck.
Good night, Mr. Conway.
Yo creo que hemos hablado con todos, ¿no? Esta es la bola del visillo. Lady Thor es una viuda anciana que habita la vieja mansión que hay junto a mi edificio. La última vez que hablamos parecía no tener mucho tiempo para mí y me dio un broche. Vive sola y creo que podríamos decir que casi nadie en Dahlia View la conoce demasiado. Su casa parece el lugar perfecto para esconder a alguien. Una antigua mansión vieja, oscura y prácticamente abandonada. Shirley Downs, la encargada de Ted Crow's Nest, el pub desde donde salen las partidas de búsqueda de Charlotte May. Aparte del bullicio nocturno, no sé nada de ella. Desde fuera parece una persona muy segura de sí misma. Me sorprendió que ni se inmutara cuando estuvimos hablando sobre Harold Levy. Sería interesante buscar más información sobre ella cuando pueda. Harold Levy, mi casero y el dueño del taller Levy e hijo. Tiene mucho poder en Dahlia View. Hasta ahora iba a lo suyo y no debíamos tener problemas, principalmente porque pago la renta a tiempo. Siempre es muy mal educado cuando hablamos y la verdad es que no me fío nada de él. Annabelle McHugh es ama de casa y está casada con Theodore. Creo que su hermana Shirley Dawn es la encargada del pub The Crow's Nest. La noté un poco rara cuando hablamos, y esta halcón no tiene mucho aprecio a su vecina, la señora Dor. No diría que es una mujer cruel, pero no se corta en dar su punto de vista. No la conozco demasiado bien como para juzgar, pero me llama bastante la atención. Teodoro trabaja como mecánico en el taller de Levi e hijo. En contadas ocasiones lo he visto salir por la puerta con varios instrumentos musicales. Cuando hablamos parecía que no quería que su esposa Annabel me contase demasiado. Quizá temía que se le escapase algo. Por otro lado, no dudó un segundo en unirse al equipo de búsqueda. Si mi experiencia me ha enseñado algo es que he de tener mucho cuidado con las personas como él. Voy a casa para buscar conexiones en la información que he conseguido. Pues nada, vamos para casa. Go home, my friend. Bueno, para los nuevos un juego que ha salido hoy. Conway.
Dad?
Catherine,
Recién salido del horno.
I thought I might
Tenemos que
bump into you
investigar una desaparición de una niña.
I shouldn't be here, what with you living so close. Conflict of interest and all.
Are you finished here?
Almost, yes. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. It's poor Charlotte May I'm worried about. Anyway, look at you. I rarely get to see you in your uniform. You look good.
Thank you. I wish it was a little more comfortable.
Catherine, can I ask, what have you found?
I'm not allowed to tell you, you know that.
Esta es la hija.
Besides, I don't have all the details myself, and my sergeant isn't exactly forthcoming with new recruits.
Hang in there. You're an asset. They'll come to see how intelligent you are.
Thank you. All I can say is that it looks as though Tony Morgan's daughter has been kidnapped.
Awful news. May I ask why they're searching the Pinewoods? Do they know where the kidnapper went?
No. It's a dead end. We're clueless, but we can't be seen to be doing nothing. And the locals suggested the woods, so...
Dear God. I perhaps wonder if I should talk to my neighbors again.
Hang on, again?
Yes, Catherine, I've been thinking, and...
Dad,
What?
I know this is happening on your doorstep, but please don't get any ideas.
I'm a naturally curious person, you know that.
You don't do this anymore. Leave it to us, please.
Well, do the police have any ideas?
Dad, I mean it. Don't get involved.
Well, I'd like to help
I
you.
want to do this on my own.
I didn't realize what this means to you.
I meant to say... I want to do it the right way. By the book. Please promise me.
Okay. I promise. I'll leave the police work up to you.
Thank you. Anyway, I'd better be off. I have to make a statement before the morning press. My sergeant is finally trusting me with something.
Well, you'd better hurry. I'll look out for your article in the morning paper.
Right. I'm off. Please go back inside. You'll catch a chill.
Night, my love.
Night, Dad.
The last thing I want is to upset Catherine. I can tell how serious she is about her case. I've never seen her so driven. I suppose I'll still develop the photos I've taken of the crime scene. I might have captured something that the police did not. And I won't be stepping on Catherine's toes if I stay in my flat and out of the way.
La mañana siguiente.
The police have marked out several pieces of evidence that are likely related to the attack. However, Mrs. Doer handed me a brooch that was found at the scene. Mr. Morgan later confirmed it belonged to Charlotte May. Could the brooch be a missing piece of the puzzle?
Después de la pregunta para resolver el tablero de pruebas. Conecta el marcador desde la pregunta hasta la prueba relevante.
I wonder if finding where the brooch was dropped could help build a better picture of the attacker's movements. I wonder if finding where the brooch was dropped could help build a better picture of the attacker's movements. So, if Mrs. Doer was right about where she found the brooch, it means the kidnapper must have come past her manor house at some point during the abduction. I forgot to give Catherine the brooch. There just hasn't been a good time. Oh, it sounds like I have mail. Now what's this?
No se abre, ¿qué? Ah, joder, se gira con... Vale, hostia. Lamento mi torpeza anoche, señor Conway. Sé que intentaba ayudar. Ya se lo he dicho a la policía, pero las únicas personas que creo que podrían haberse llevado a mi Charlotte May son nuestros vecinos. Los Mackie, Harold Levy, Silver y la vieja señora Dorr tienen acceso al patio. Usted mismo lo dijo y creo que tiene razón. Cuantos más ojos tengamos en este caso, mejor. Muchas gracias otra vez por ofrecerse a ayudar, Morgan.
Mr. Morgan's note implicates most of his neighbors. I had suspected as much, but now I have something solid to work with. Catherine has asked me not to get involved, but I've already promised Mr. Morgan I'll find Charlotte May. I should have told Catherine there and then. I'm already involved. I can feel it again. That drive, that first pull at the yarn. It's all on this evidence board. Suspects, victims, items found at the scene. I have everything. All that remains is to watch over my neighbors until one of them makes a mistake. And I can still give Catherine her space. If the whole town is searching the Pinewoods, someone needs to keep an eye over Dahlia View.
Conway, Disappearance. Bueno, se pone interesante, ¿eh?
I've been sitting watching my neighbors on and off for hours, but I've seen nothing of any use for my evidence board. Tony Morgan suggested that the McKees were acting strangely around Charlotte May. I heard Theodore return home earlier this evening, but didn't manage to get a glimpse. Charlotte May is counting on me to find her, but so far I've drawn a blank. Perhaps the McKees are innocent. Only time will tell. Annabelle and Theodore seemed normal enough when we spoke last night. By their account, they didn't seem much at all. Why would Mr. Morgan ask me to watch them? Theodore looks unhappy about I don't know what. He's pacing back and forth. It seems heated. I still have no idea what the problem is. Perhaps this is what Mr. Morgan was talking about.
¿Qué va a sacar? Saca algo, saca algo. No te cortes.
Annabelle has seen something just out of my view. Whatever it is, she's horrified by it. What on earth is it? What are you thinking, Annabelle? What can you see?
Voy a acabar con todos los carretes de fotos de la ciudad. Hostia, vaya cuchillaco.
She's got a knife.
Se lo va a clavar. Se lo va a clavar.
Jesus, she's going to... No.
Está discutiendo.
She wants Theo to use it.
¿Una maza? Tiene que cortar los miembros y luego machacarlos.
He doesn't know which one to use. Theo, don't do it.
Pero si no sé lo que va a hacer, si igual va a cascar nueces.
Take pause of yourself.
Bueno, nueces o melones. Igual es mucho martillo para una nuez. Pues un melón, una sandía. Igual hay una cucaracha.
Theo, who are you talking to? Is that a practice swing? Dear God. What have I just witnessed? Some time has passed since I saw Theo hit something with a mallet. I didn't actually see anything. No proof. I have no evidence at all.
40 minutazos después. Oh my god.
Annabelle is back at the door.
Okay, hurry. Go. Go!
What in God's name?
Shit.
What are you doing?
Well, if you'd help me.
I'm not catching that thing.
¿Pero qué coño lleva eso?
Thing was your idea.
My idea.
Oh,
Christ. Get it out of here.
what the hell do you think I'm doing?
Hurry up! Mr. Morgan.
Hello, Annabelle.
Lovely evening.
Yes, I suppose so. Please, if you don't mind, I have something...
It's just all so sad, isn't it?
Please, I really do need to be going.
I'm so sorry, of course.
It's fine.
Mételo, ¿eh?
If there's anything I can do, you won't hesitate to ask.
No sé, pasa una niña muy ágilmente.
Catherine asked me not to get involved.
Muy ágilmente lo manejaba, ¿no? Va a ser una cría de 7, 8 años.
It's not over until it's over. I think I need to pay the McKees a personal call.
Estándar, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estamos? Sí, tiene toda la pinta. De la película, sí. Además, el tío está en silla de ruedas. Sí. Nadie lo comentaba antes.
I've barely slept at all. I can't fully explain what I observed last night, and I can't shake the image of Charlotte May in the McKees' pantry, lying there, helpless.
Se revelar fotos, ¿no?
All set up and ready to go. Now, to gather some evidence from the McKees. These are developing nicely. I'll need my bag if I'm going to gather any real evidence.
Sacan mis herramientas de investigación de la oficina. ¿Dónde están? Mis herramientas de investigación. Ah, bueno, eso es la cámara ya. Bueno, vamos a la habitación. Imagínate en la habitación.
My old case files. Some I'd rather forget.
Sacar mis herramientas de investigación de la oficina.
The police are searching out in Riverport. They haven't seen what I have, and it's too soon to involve them. What if I'm wrong?
Hombre, algo hemos visto. Sí, totalmente, sí, sí. Hola, viejo amigo. Respondiendo a tu pregunta, por aquí las cosas van como siempre y ya sabes de lo que hablo. Siento mucho lo que te está pasando. Yo también empiezo a olvidarme de las cosas. Jim se preocupa, como siempre. Vamos a tener que asumirlo, muchachos. Nos hacemos viejos. En fin, mira de este modo. Siempre te ha gustado estar sentado tocándote las narices. Pues ahora vas a poder hacerlo sin que nadie te llame holgazán. Te prometo que pronto he hecho una visita. Para que no se diga, Jim, te manda recuerdos. ¿Dónde está mi...? Ah, vale. Vale, no. Oh, joder.
Now, to find out what the McKees were doing in that pantry.
Por lo que he observado, los Mackey están ocultando algo. Tengo que descubrir qué hay en esa despensa. Busqué una manera de entrar en el piso de los Mackey, explorar la despensa para ver qué puedo encontrar. Bueno, vamos a ir para allá. Y luego, con vuestro permiso, vamos a un cafecito rápido. Pero el de la peli bajaba del edificio, no. Es que no me acuerdo de la peli. No salía de la habitación, no es todo el rato en la habitación, ¿no? El tío de las ventanas. Que me suena eso, me suena que está todo el día. Este es algo que pasó antes. Voy a poner un café rápidamente, ahora vengo. Un segundito. Vale, ya estoy aquí. Con el cafelito, vamos a continuar. Aquí está el café.
If the McKees really did kill Charlotte May last night, then there must be some evidence left in their pantry.
Buah, qué malo es la madre que parió. ¿Qué pasa por comprar del sucedáneo? Solo tengo 30 cápsulas, tú. Cierra la puerta. No quiero que ningún indeseable tenga acceso a mi vivienda. El casero Levy. Miércoles día de recogida basura. A diario de investigación policial de Charlotte Main. Punto de encuentro en Crossnet. Las partidas de búsqueda salen a cada 2 horas. Reparto de leche todos los lunes a las 7 de la mañana. Limpia y vacía las botellas y déjalas fuera del domingo por la noche como muy tarde. Se cobrará un recargo por llevar por las botellas rotas. Joder, era por aquí. ¿Por qué no me deja salir? ¿Me he venido demasiado abajo o qué?
I wonder if there's anything left to find at all. What if I'm too late? Bleach. The McKees have been busy.
Hello?
Hello, Mrs. McKee. We spoke a few days ago.
Yes, please call me Annabelle.
Annabelle, of course. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get around to you.
That's fine. I'm sorry, how is it I can help, Mr. Conway?
Well, it's all a bit sensitive, I'm afraid. I wondered if I might have a word in private, if you would.
Well,
Mrs. McKee, Annabelle, I'd rather not state my purpose out here in the hallway where any one of your neighbors might be listening. Wouldn't you agree?
Of course. Why don't you step inside for a moment?
Excellent idea. I promise not to take up too much of your time. I'm sure you have your hands full.
So, what's the purpose of all this, Mr. Conway? I hope it's not about what we... Well, why don't you get to it?
Of course. Well, it's actually quite simple. I'm sure you've heard that I was once a private investigator. Well, nonetheless, Mr. Morgan has asked me if I would look into everyone who knew Charlotte May.
I see. And so you've come to look at us?
Look, let me be straight. I've been an investigator my entire life, and I have a sense about people, you might say.
Is that so?
I don't think you or your husband have anything to hide. In fact, this might be a waste of time altogether, but I think it would put Mr. Morgan's mind at ease if I ask some basic questions anyway. What do you say?
Well, however we can help. As long as it's not too long is all.
Oh, no, of course not. All I need you to do is tell me in your own words what you did on the night that Charlotte May was taken.
Right. But I thought you...
Before you begin, I'm sorry to ask, but would you mind if I used your lavatory?
No, not at all. It's right behind you.
Thank you. And please, Annabelle, you look worried. I'm sure you had nothing to do with it.
¿Cómo meter el dedo en la llaga, eh? El investigador.
She's lying. It's written all over her.
Se activa...
Time to find out why.
A ver, se activa la mayoría de las interacciones de mantener pulsado y arrastrar. Ahora solo requiere un toque.
It's a doctor's note addressed to Annabelle.
¿Qué coño ha pasado? Si no me la puedo leer. Señora McKee, respecto a lo que hablamos en nuestra anterior cita, lamento informarle de que el dolor de su bajo vientre probablemente se deba a complicaciones durante las primeras semanas del primer trimestre. Me gustaría volver a reunirme con usted tan pronto como le sea posible para discutir la posibilidad de que el embarazo no llegue a su término, dadas las circunstancias. Por favor, llame a la consulta en cuanto pueda para reservar su próxima cita. O sea que...
Now what do we have here?
Mr. Conway? Can I offer you a cup of tea?
Yes, 1 sugar.
Igual te he pedido 4 azúcar.
I thought she'd never leave.
Spray air fresh. Señor aquí, billete de vuelta en hora punta, marzo 22 de junio. Destino Turin City.
A tram ticket. Annabelle clearly didn't use this tram ticket.
Papel de culo, spray. Esto lo hemos sacado foto.
She was experiencing some pain.
Señor Super, ¿qué tal?
She was expecting a baby, but no longer is.
Llueve mucho, ¿eh? Yo me he puesto ahora mismo café. Pues ya está, ¿no? Pues algo de aquí, tío.
I apologize. Where were we? Ah, yes. You were going to tell me what you were doing on the night that Charlotte May was taken.
I've been thinking about it, and there's not much to say.
Literally anything would help.
Well, I remember it clearly. I think everyone here knows exactly where they were. It was so shocking. I'd made Theo his tea in the afternoon at about 3,
and wrapped it up for him to have later. He was working all day over at Levy's garage and performing later that night. I went to the shops at some point, I think. I didn't see Charlotte May at all that day, and I was out of town for most of the night. I think the last time I saw her was on the Wednesday. She was playing outside between her homeschooling, as I recall.
I'll stop you there if you don't mind. Instead of when you last saw her, I think it would be more beneficial to talk about what you and your husband were doing whilst Charlotte May was being taken.
Right. I see. What time was that?
You don't remember clearly. I was sitting in my flat at the time. 10 o'clock is when I first noticed something was happening. I had a good view from my window. I imagine you'd have a good view from your kitchen window also. Perhaps even your pantry.
Actually, Mr. Conway, I'm sorry. I feel awfully uncomfortable talking about this without Theo here. I think it's best I don't answer anything he might object to.
You're right. I completely agree. He usually takes his break around now, does he not?
Perhaps.
Would it be possible of you to go and get him so that we might continue the conversation?
I don't think that's a good idea, Mr. Conway. In fact, I think I'd feel better if we ended the conversation here, if it's all the same to you.
No, you're right. If you don't feel it appropriate, then best not to bother him.
Thank you.
I was hoping to clear it all up today, you see. I'd hate to have to bother you tomorrow or the day after, or even the day after that. It's not in my character to be a nuisance. However, I did promise Mr. Morgan. Perhaps I'll return later on.
Wait. If it's not going to take too long, I could fetch him now, and we could resolve the matter.
Mrs. McKee, if you would do that for me, it would put Mr. Morgan's mind at ease, I'm sure.
Christ. Okay, well, I think it's best you come with me.
I fear I'd only slow you down. The stairs, you see.
Estos que tienen 20 botones
I'll
para
wait
enemigos.
here for your turn.
Fine, just wait here.
Este tengo, tío. No sé qué marcas son, tío. La mierda esta de... Es que es verde. Con 20.000 botones. Creo que es un frase, sí. ¿Cómo coño cojo esto?
It's moving. Almost.
Pero me empezó a fallar, ¿eh? Lo vas a acabar arreglado.
Well,
Y en casa tengo otro, distinto.
oh, it's locked.
También con botoncillos. Y me fallaba el doble clic, sí. Me fallaba el...
Charlotte, were you in here? Give me something.
¿Qué coño hay aquí?
It's well stocked.
Nothing useful.
Lejía, hacer un lugar fresco, seco.
Looks as though they scrubbed the place clean last night. They have an allotment. Good idea.
¿Cómo puedo cerrar todo, tío? Tenedor. Cuchillo grandote. Pero necesito... Para pillar las tías que hacen las cortinas. El destornillador. Vale, guay, cógelo. Ahora, coño. Joder, qué complicado. Va para arriba. Yo que tengo en casa, tío, lo cambié, creo que me lo compré 4 años llevará. Y no funcionaba el botón izquierdo, no arregla, o sea, no podía...
Please let me be wrong. Bleached head to toe.
Si le daba un clic, vale, lo ponía de mantener. Apretar y arrastrar, se me jodía.
There's nothing left to see.
Pues ya está, ¿no? Sí. Y ahora, ¿cómo dejamos ahora la llave arriba?
They're not back yet. Then there's still time to search the flat.
Ah, que el puto café que he comprado.
The police are still here. I hope Catherine doesn't see me like this. I wonder what was last written on this notepad.
El piso mientras se vive por Teo. Se encuentra con mi título de pruebas. Choco, coño.
There's a note in the fireplace. I can't get it out with my bare hands.
Joder, es que no hay nada para coger aquí.
Nothing interesting.
¿Para qué me veo carbón? Necesito coger, pero a ver. Supuestamente las tenazas para coger cosas solo están en la chimenea, ¿no? Acabo de joder el puzzle. Vale, creo que ya lo tengo. Tiene una discusión con Shirley hoy. Odio cuando discutimos y sé que tiene buenas intenciones, pero a veces solo necesito que me escuchen y que no me juzguen. He dicho cosas de las que me arrepiento. Shirley lo es todo para mí y no soporto la idea de perderla. Pero cuando me dijo que madurara y asumiera mi responsabilidad, no pude aguantarlo. Me dije a mí misma que sería una mejor persona este año. Es hora de que me disculpe y le demuestre que la quiero tanto como ella a mí. El amor de una hermana es para siempre. Al baño. Y ya está, era jefe. Necesito vamos a hacer esto antes de que vengan. ¿Cómo ve? A ver. Han perdido un hijo. Claro, debe estar en la basura, lo que hace pensar que tío lo sabe. Ahora me está obligando a Teo a usar el mazo en la despensa. Está bastante claro que ella es quien lleva las riendas de la relación. A Teo le ha costado poner lo que sea que estuviera en la despensa. Claramente lo no le sale de manera natural. Es evidente que Teo no estaba cómodo con la idea de llevar la alfombra más del coche. Me da que pensar que Meli es quien da la solicitud. Haría lo que fuera por ella. Joder, es que soy un puto detective de la hostia. Luego parece mi hijo escribiendo que marca. Deja marca hasta en la mesa. Tuve la llamada del médico Scrooge Vilantero de 1932. Le voy a partir de las 8 del martes. Traer una muda. Asegúrese de que el concierto de Teo sigue siendo lo primero. O sea que lo del concierto es cierto.
Now that's something.
Para el estuche del violonchelo. ¿Dónde está el estuche del violonchelo, tío? Hostia, me han dejado en casa, me lo dio más rato que... Falta la habitación, ¿no? ¿Es el baño? Tu croquis de la casa, tío. ¿Será este? Vale, eso es lo que yo buscaba de ácido. Vale, con esto ya me llevo... Ya, joder, el chelo. Era 1932, ¿no? Encontraremos la típica metralleta de...
Bingo. Theo has a sister back home somewhere.
Tío, me alegro mucho de tu respuesta. Mamá necesita medicina desesperadamente. El médico ha dicho que su vida está en peligro. Tienes que darte prisa porque empeora cada día. Necesito una medicina anticoagulante que creo que solo se puede conseguir en tu país. Es muy cara. Muchas gracias otra vez. Por cierto, ¿qué tal se me da el idioma? Me he enseñado bien, hermano. Espero poder ir pronto a Inglaterra para ver tu fantástica casa. Hasta entonces me encargaré de todo por aquí. Soy la mujer de la casa mientras mamá sigue enferma. Prométeme que me escribirás pronto, Teo. Te quiere la Tris. La dulzura tuvo que morir. Algo en mi mente sabía que estaba mal. Sé que no debería haberlo hecho, ahora ya no estás. La dulzura tuvo que morir. Mi amor dijo adiós y solo tengo la culpa y esta canción. Joder, qué partitura tú. Una partitura muy nice, ¿no? Una niña desaparecida, secuestrada. Y la dulzura debe morir. Lo típico. Inventario. Cogemos esto y sacamos el pan. Venga, coge la carta.
Seems to be a list of medicines.
Vale. La partitura de Teo sugiere un gran sentimiento de culpa. Quizás se sienta mal por lo de Catherine May. ¿Y qué más cosas tenemos que encontrar? Yo creo que ya está, ¿no? Ya hemos encontrado todo. Vamos a ver, ¿qué nos dice? Pues espera, igual queda algo por aquí que no he visto todo el final. Coño, me cargo ahí. Que me falta la habitación de ellos.
Theo's room, no doubt.
Pillo interrumpido. Me lo llevo. ¿Se podrá poner? Sí, ¿no?
No, my baby don't care for me. just because she says she do. If my baby really cared for me, she wouldn't leave me feeling blue.
Theo, where's the
Arco de un chulo.
You can't hear I'm recording.
Sorry, I don't know the difference. You know that.
Well, check next time. These vinyls are too expensive to waste.
Theo, all I want is a pencil.
Try the living room. God, Lord. We'll have to start this whole thing over again.
Locked. How does one open a piano front?
¿Cómo se abre un piano? Tío, tiene talento para la música. Se está echando a perder trabajando para Harold Levy.
Now, what do you know?
Toma, pues con esto solo hay que saber dónde meterlo.
I don't know a great deal about musical instruments, but something's blocking these keys from the other side. He's a slob.
¿Cómo se abre esto?
Music sheets. Presumably Theo's songs.
Pues este que puede abrir ya, ¿no? Férez. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estamos? ¿Le puedo pegar con algo o qué?
Several of the keys on the piano are blocked. I need to look inside and find out what's doing it.
El piano está bloqueado todo. Mira qué crack. Sí, estoy hoy. Hay una nota tapada que no sé qué quiere decir. Se va a morir el piano, tío. Pues esto no me deja. Joder, no sé, tío. Seguir. Uy, me queda ahí.
No, my baby don't care for me. Just because she says she do.
30 pavos.
If my baby really care for
¿Pero sabes de qué va, Férez?
she wouldn't leave me feeling blue.
Theo, where's the pencil gone?
Annabelle, you can't hear I'm recording.
Sorry. I don't
Tengo que conseguir abrir.
know that.
Well, check next time. These vinyls are too expensive to waste.
Theo, all I want is a pencil.
Try the living room.
Why do you need it in there?
Oh, God, Lord. I'm gonna have to start this whole thing over again.
Several of the keys on the piano are blocked. I need to look inside and find out what's doing it.
No sé cómo abrir esto, tío. Es que esto ya lo he apretado el puto... Oh, vale, aquí hay otro coño. Ah, dinero.
£45. If I were a lesser man, I'd take it and live comfortably for the rest of the year. There's no way Theo's boss pays him this much.
Annabelle, it's Shirley.
Damn. It's Annabelle's sister.
Look,
Sí, me dio la fe de investigación, sí.
I want to say sorry about the other night. Are you there?
Han secuestrado a una niña y...
I love you,
Se parece mucho al principio a la ventana indiscreta de Hitchcock, porque el tío vas con una foto, vas con una cámara de fotos desde tu...
Anyway, I'm posting the key back through the door.
Muy bien, ya tengo las llaves. Hombre, si les han quedado las llaves del piso de Nelly, pues no es del todo cierto, pero bueno. Me las llevo. Pues no sé, depende de lo que dure. No está mal, el juego está guapo. Eso ya bajará. Ahora está con 26 con algo está. Mira, lo tienes ahí. Está a 20... 26,99. Yo creo que ya está, ¿no? Espera, porque hay una puerta que no podemos entrar. Creo que es esa de enfrente. Ahora lo pienso. Y ahora sí podemos entrar con esta llave, my friend. Joder. F3.
You can tell a lot about a person from their bedroom. This is clearly Annabelle's space.
No. Vamos, igual me lo han cobrado, pero yo creo que no. Yo creo que no pago. Hostia, no lo sé, tío. Si te digo la verdad, no lo sé. Quiero jugar a Splatoon, pero yo creo que ya no lo pago. No lo sé, tío. No lo pagaría, Me empezó un robo, pero igual me lo han cobrado. Tengo que mirarlo. Annabelle McKay. No me acuerdo lo que has hecho. Deberías haber acudido a mí. Soy tu hermana, por Dios. Te habría convencido para no hacerlo. Menos mal que mamá no sigue viva para no ver la desgracia en la que te has convertido. Deberías haber dicho, estoy furiosa, pero te prometo que me sigues teniendo a tu lado. Somos hermanas y eso no va a cambiar. Tú sabes que tú estás algo conmigo, pero tenemos que hablar cuanto antes. Las pasiones colectivas, pues entonces no. Que no lo sé. No sé si me ha cobrado. O sea, el crío, no, o sea, el crío jugaba, era Splatoon. Lo que pasa es que no sé si le di para que jugara y generalmente esas cosas las suelo quitar. La renovación automática, porque me conozco. ¿Por qué está cerrada la automana del dormitorio de los McKay? ¿Será como el violonchelo? Un poco de suerte. No, era demasiada suerte.
Shirley and Annabelle are close sisters. I don't know what they're currently arguing about, but they seem to love each other very much. Good to know.
El amor de una hermana es para siempre, un hombre en el que apoyarse cuando lo necesites, un amor hecho para perdurar, fuerte e incondicional. El amor de una hermana es para siempre. Oh, qué bonito.
It needs something to wind it. They had a view of Mr. Morgan's home. They could have easily seen Charlotte May every day. Absolutely spotless. You'd never even know a mechanic lived here.
Ahora él tiene la casa como los chorros del oro. Este día así de limpio antes del usuario de la despensa. Si le quiere tanto a Berín que regalar una caja de música con grabados personalizados.
Annabelle is obsessed with cleaning.
Lejía.
More bleach.
Mucha lejía, ¿no? Para quitar pruebas.
Smells fresh. Well, the whole place is clean.
No tengo ni idea. Lo puse yo aquí ahora. ¿Cómo me voy de aquí, macho? ¡Socorro! No puedo girar. Que no me puedo girar, tú. No creo, no jodas. Igual tengo que encontrar algo, pero... Pues realmente no quiero encontrar nada si tengo la energía de aquí. Me extraña que no me deje salir. No creo que haya que hacer nada aquí. Realmente me falta esta.
The box at the foot of their bed is padlocked and needs a combination.
La
Why would they
esta.
lock away their bedding? Seems very odd. The box at the foot of their bed is padlocked and needs a combination. Why would they lock away their bedding? Seems very odd.
Pero no sé, tío, volver. Sí, esto nada, aquí no hay nada para inspeccionar. Me ha dejado algo, tío, pero no puedo girar más. El F no me deja salir. Qué raro, tío. Es que tampoco inventario que vamos a inventar, que usar. Es que tengo la carbón, no voy a usar carbón con esto, joder, ¿para qué? Que agitado. Agitar, ahí va.
I spoke too soon. What on earth is inside?
La llave de... Vale, ahora sí nos vamos. Bueno, está bien, o sea, no te dejan salir hasta que no consigues todo. Vale, esto es de la caja de... No había agitado, ¿verdad? Había sacado la foto y ya está. Esto es de aquí. Me gustó mucho la otra noche, deberíamos repetirlo. Me alegro de que te gustase el Blue Mist. Es precisamente barato, ¿sabes? Pero tú te lo mereces, cariño. Llámame, 3283. Uy, 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 que tenemos lío.
Is Annabelle having an affair?
3283. Te hemos pillado, Annabelle. ¿no era? Aquí encontramos los tangas del leopardo. Está clarísimo. Si es que todo cuadra. Si es que todo cuadra, joder.
Now what's this then?
El mazo.
This is it. The mallet I saw Thea use last night. I've got you. Did you hit Charlotte May with this? Damn, the McKees are coming back.
Well then, what do you want me to say?
I don't know, just stall him. He's been in there for ages.
Why did you leave him then?
You really want me to go through that right now?
Okay. Just don't say anything that he might...
He might what?
Well, you know how you are.
really think I'm that stupid. Now, shh. Let's just go inside.
I'm waiting for you.
Ya la 2, ¿no? Mierda.
Hello, Mr.
Qué cagada.
Conway.
Hello, Theodore.
Qué cagada.
Anne says Tony Morgan asked you to investigate his daughter's disappearance.
That's right, but I'm sure she's also told you that it's merely a form.
I was just telling Mr. Conway he's wasting his time, because we don't know anything about it.
Aren't you retired, Mr. Conway?
Well, I'm not here officially, Mr. McKee, just as a friend of Tony Morgan's. But I do appreciate you making the time.
Well, like Anne said, we had nothing to do with Charlotte May, so I don't know how I could help. And I don't have
Que la puerta estaba cerrada con llave.
Mr. Levy isn't
Y
very
no
happy with
me
me
esperaba que
stepping
me
out to
pidiera
work.
cerrar.
I
Entonces,
appreciate it.
no he elegido bien la llave.
Well,
Con lo cual se van a enterar que he
shall
estado
we move into
fisgando.
the living room?
Of course. Please, after you.
I'll be with you in a moment.
Now, please, I'd like to know what you were doing at the time of the attack, if you wouldn't mind. Maybe start at 10 p.m.
10 p.m. Well, I was at a gig that night, so I was playing down at the Sugar Ducks men's club. Harold, my boss, hasn't paid me for a few months, so I've had to start making money elsewhere. I remember I got home around 10:40, I think. I went straight into my music room. I had a song in my head I just had to get out. So nothing to do with Charlotte May.
I take it you play an instrument.
Yes, a few actually.
Does anyone here at Daily View ever go to watch you play?
Not really, no. Is there something wrong? I don't see how this relates to Charlotte May.
If I'm honest, it would have helped if you'd had a witness to your alibi.
My alibi? I'm telling you where I was that night is all. I thought you were just asking some questions for Tony Morgan.
Yes, of course. But you should probably try to think hard about what you might say if the police decide to come and ask. For example, if they asked what you were doing last night, you might say, I was having dinner with my wife, or I was... What were you doing last night?
I was playing at the Sugar Ducks.
Really?
Yes.
Well, if the police do come around, it sounds like you have nothing to worry about, Mr. McKee.
Shall I carry on, Mr. Conway?
Oh, please do. You were saying you'd entered your music room.
Anyway, I think I was in my music room all the way up until...
I'll be with you both in a second. Don't wait for me.
Okay, my love. I was in my room until Anne called me out. She heard a smash or something. Anne was visiting a friend that night, but I think she was back just before me. And I think she was in her bedroom. So, by all accounts, she's the one who heard it.
You didn't hear the smash yourself?
No. There aren't any windows in my music room, and I was writing a song at my piano.
So Annabelle heard it and came in to get you?
Mm-hmm.
You say you heard a smash or something. Could you think back and tell me exactly what happened?
Anne came in. She said, something's going on outside, that I should take a look. That was when I realized she was home, and...
And that's when you came out and looked?
That's right.
And you say you didn't know Annabelle was home yet?
Like I said, I couldn't hear anything. What with my music?
So she could have been home longer?
I suppose, but I don't think she was.
And what did you see once you were outside?
Tony Morgan, laying on the floor. All our neighbors taking a look. Then the police came.
Nothing else? Not Charlotte May, not the kidnapper?
I spoke to you briefly.
Fair enough. Please, as you were saying.
So anyway, it couldn't have been Anne or me, you see, because we weren't here most of the night. And in any case, the sugar ducks are a good 20-minute walk away. People would have noticed if I was missing from my gig, wouldn't you think? I'm sorry, I'm confused. Is this all you want to know? What I was doing that night? Nothing else?
You say it couldn't have been Annabelle?
No. She was out of town that night. She'd already paid for her tram ticket, so I said I didn't mind.
Really? And she used the tram ticket?
I don't understand.
You say she was out of town for most of the night. Could she have been here longer than you thought?
Anne didn't have anything to do with Charlotte May.
Well, anything is possible.
No. I'm sorry, it's not. You don't know Anne.
So she's not capable of such a thing. Is she capable of deceiving you?
That's my wife you're talking about. I'm not answering that.
You're right. I apologize, Ed. I've overstepped my bounds. I promise you I meant nothing by it. I have to ask these things for Tony Morgan, but if you say that's not her, then I trust you, Theodore.
It's fine.
Please, if you don't
Pues se
mind,
acaba, le tengo que cortar.
could you continue with the night's events?
Sorry about that. I was making sure that things were, where we left them.
I was just saying that Mr. Conway is wasting his time because we were both out of town for most of the night. Isn't that right, my love? You were at a friend's, weren't you? You already paid for a tram ticket. That's why you couldn't come to the gig.
Well, actually, Theo, I wanted to talk to you about that, but it can wait till later.
Talk to me about what? Tell him you're out of town.
Don't you have to get back to work?
Actually, I think I do have to go, Mr. Conway. I'm sorry I couldn't be more help. You'll excuse me.
Thank you for your time, Theodore. I wonder if what you're telling Theodore has an ounce of truth. You were at a friend's, were you?
Mr. Conway, I think you've more than outstayed your welcome. I don't know why I agreed to talk to you in the first place. You must think me awfully dense if you think I don't know what you were doing while I was gone. I don't want to see or hear from you again, do you understand? This is a job for the police, not some old has-been playing detective.
What I was doing? Why don't we take a second to talk about what you were doing last night? What was in that rug, Annabelle? Why was Theo carrying it to the boot of his car?
Get out, now.
¿Ves? Nos han pillado, a lo mejor todo abierto, pero bueno.
I think that went as well as could have been expected.
Bueno, perfecto. Vamos a dejar aquí, pues. Y tengo que trabajar un poco. A ver si graba, si guarda.
From talking to the McKees, it seems apparent that they were both in Dahlia View at the time Charlotte May was taken. Annabelle and Theo were clearly hiding something. I observed them getting rid of a rolled-up rug and saw Theo use a mallet for God only knows what. I can't currently prove it relates to Charlotte May, and a few questions still remain.
Bueno, espero poder guardar. Joder, movidas que hay. Bueno, aquí lo tenéis. No está nada mal, ¿eh? Ahora que el juego es una aventura gráfica curiosita, ha salido hoy mismo. Y bueno, pues le seguiremos dando, la verdad que me ha gustado. Así que lo seguiremos probando, interesante. Un poco narrativo, bueno, pero Interesante, interesante propuesta. Así que nada, gente, gracias por estar ahí. A la noche probaremos otro nuevo que ha salido y que me han enviado. Probablemente uno de gigantes. Y bueno, pues iremos dándole como siempre a esto de los videojuegos. Gracias por estar ahí como siempre. Un servidor se despide. Sed buenos, nos vemos. Adiós. Está chulo. Le seguiremos dando. Venga, hasta luego. Os dejo con Dante, darle amor. Que yo me voy escopeteado, que no llego.